Hi everybody, this is Diane. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do in this video. I just felt like making one, and I have a semi-game plan, but it might involve some cutting and chopping because I think I'm going to have to do some sewing. But first of all, as I cleaned up my desk from the previous project, I took my scrap pieces and just glued them to this yellowish kind of vintage paper. And so I have these ready to cut and use. I just wanted to show them to you because I had so many pretty colors, both solid and patterned, and my line papers, that I just wanted to make something with them instead of just throwing them in a box. And yesterday I went to Horseheads, our shopping place, with my daughter. I have not been there for months, not since I moved, and before I moved I didn't go because I was busy packing and getting ready to move, so I haven't been there in a long time. And I used to go to 3 craft stores up there, but Joann's is no longer there, and so we went to Michael's and Hobby Lobby, plus other shopping. I wanted to buy some autumn decorations for my new house, and especially for my front porch because it's an enclosed porch, so it's like another room, and I really wanted to add some fall decorations out there. But at Michael's, I didn't buy a thing. They do have fabrics there now. They used to have like a fat quarter or the little rolled up pieces that I don't even know how much yardage there is there. I don't know if it's a half yard. But anyway, that's all they had was the little packaged pieces. But now they have bolts, and I did see some that I really liked. I should have gotten them, but I didn't because I have enough fabric, but I want to go back and get those. They're just some pretty floral, little small florals, not quite calico prints, but anyway, I like those. And that's all I was tempted to buy. The papers weren't on sale. Really nothing in the craft area that I would use was on sale. And then we went to Hobby Lobby, and I got some of my red tape and a glue stick that I needed to replenish my glue. And then they did have their beads on sale. So I went and looked for yellow because, like I said before, I have a hard time getting yellow. Look at all the yellow I found. And 2 of them are the double strands. They're $4.99 and $3.49, and then they were 40% off. It was either 40 or 50, but I think it was 40. So that's a lot of beads for that money. And then this, just a plain yellow bead, and these faceted clear ones, and more oh, they're not faceted, but they're full of, I don't know what to call that, but it looks like there's stuff inside them. But it's really pretty. And I also use a lot of blue, so I just got some generic blue ones. This one's pretty glittery. These 2 have 2 strands. And then it's always fun to get the specialty ones. I saw the yellow ducks, like a rubber duck. So I had to get those. I don't have a special purpose for them, but they'll be fun to put on little golden book spines and stuff like that. And then I do plan on making some paper doll themed journals pretty soon. I really want to make them. And so I thought these pretty pink dresses would be so wonderful for the paper doll journals. And then these they're like a little cupped flower. It's kind of hard to tell while they're all together, but you can see here. And I don't know how it's going to look strung on a bead, but I think it's going to be, or on a string, but I think it'll be nice. So those are the beads I got. That's all I got in the craft stores. So the only other thing I want to talk about is I have been going through my book covers, as you saw if you watched those videos, and I will be putting those destashed covers in my shop before too long, I hope. And I've just been kind of tidying. I have so much more tidying to do down here. The destash of the book covers was part of my tidying and organizing efforts. You know, my room is pretty organized, but as I said, while I was doing the organizing, I was putting things on the shelf or in the drawer that they belonged in but I would need to go back and fine tune. So that's what I'm doing now. And I do have some piles in the room here of I've taken apart books and things that I've gotten from the flea market this year. I've been taking things apart and I haven't taken the time to get them sorted and put away. So I have some piles that I need to do. But for today, I feel like I want to do some crafting. I did the postage stamp ephemera, but I want to kind of do some crafting with an eye toward working on this. So this is a book cover I made a little while ago, a short while ago. This was a journal kit that I bought from Selena because I really loved this cover. I don't really know why. I like houses and house images, and I just thought this was really cute, and maybe because I'd never seen this cover before, and it just really attracted me. So I got this out, and I put a cover together. I don't even remember why I did this in the middle of doing something else, but I just did. And I didn't keep the kit that Selena put together because she just had golden books. This isn't one of them, but she just had an assortment of really old golden books, and she just put together bundles. So the kits, maybe color-wise, were geared, but there was no theme. So I didn't keep the other parts with this kit, but I did keep the blue rickrack and this pink gimp, which I used right there. I think this came with the kit. Maybe it was in my stash, but these little buttons came with the kit, and I love the colors with this. So I'm going to use these somewhere in this journal. And I thought while I make this, I was looking for some other golden books that might have a nod toward a home or house theme, which I don't really want to go overboard with the house theme, but I do want to incorporate it. So I found this one, and I washed it off. I'm gonna, I haven't tried an eraser on this. I think it's marker, but I can definitely cover that with some patchy fabric. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of camouflaging on this book, but Goldilocks invaded the Three Bears home, and there's a lot of homey images in it, so I thought this would be a good one. And then I found this one, Come Play House, an Eloise Wilkin book. Again, this is a book I found at a flea market, and I had never seen this book before. It is, I said Eloise Wilkin, I already said that. And it's very old, and it's edition E, 1948. So, of course, it's Come Play House, so this is perfect for a journal that has an underlying theme of home. So that's a lot of talking. Oh, here's another rickrack that came with this kit. Let me show you what I have in my home collection. I want to save some of these things to make a real house and home themed journal, or cozy home themed journal, with this, an embroidered piece of linen as a cover, and this, like a Victorian house in cross stitch as a cover. And I would have fun making fabric covers, and I think there's something else in here that can be a cover, but I just have, I think I must have pulled these papers to go with this because they match perfectly. So I don't think these were already in my house and home bundle, but I'm going to leave these out to use in that journal. Then I just have a lot of furniture images from vintage books. So I can cut the furniture pieces out, or I can fold this into the signature. I think these might be from more than one book. And then this is another book that featured home decorating or house plans, which I love. These are matte pages, and it's vintage. I think it's from the 60s or 70s. And here's from a magazine, I think. A magazine of houseplants. So these are more of the rag, or not rag, but pulpy. I don't know how to describe it, but they're more fragile than these. They're not fragile right now, but as they age, they will be. Really nice house and home elements in these pages. This came from an old magazine. Yes, this was the other thing I thought would be a good cover. I love this cottage. A lot of images of homes in the 30s, like on greeting cards and whatnot, they have this very pitched and sloped roof. I just love the way it looks. I don't know if I'd want to live in a house like that, but I don't know what it's like on the inside. It seems like it wouldn't have a lot of space, but I just love the way that looks. So this could make a fun journal cover. And I had 2 of these books, paperback books for kids. They were alphabet books. So I have 2 of those images. And this is what I want to work on today. I have these images of different styles of homes taken from very old magazines, probably from the 20s or 30s, I don't know, but definitely not newer than that. So I want to make ephemera with them. And I have some vintage Sears and Ward's different catalogs with things you need in your home. The bathroom coordinating pieces, blankets, quilts. There's a linen closet lady. I'll make ephemera with that. Linen closet lady. She's putting things in her linen closet. I love this colorful page. I think maybe I should use that one, pieces of this, in this book because it's so colorful. Oh, look at that, the Fiesta ware. So I can make journal tags with those. And some more home arrangements from a different book. How to arrange your rooms. A chart for storage of articles in Straighten Out That Room. This is from a book called Adventuring in Home Living. I don't know what this Straighten Out That Room thing is. A story or just an article for the class. It's a school book. The cleaning tools. Anyway, that's just a fun book. And that book also, what did I say it was called? I just saw the title of the book, Adventuring in Home Living. That would be a good house and home book too. Curtains, floor tiles, and linoleum, blankets, everything including the kitchen sink. What a pretty sink. Oilcloth for making tablecloths. So all these catalog images are great. Look at that old stove. Mint green stove. There's a house image from an old magazine. And these are, I think they were for decoupage. I'm not even sure where I got them, but 3 stately homes. 4 stately homes. Some more pieces that I can maybe use in our ephemera making today. I think these were a digital from something, and this was cut from a scrapbook paper. A floor plan. A Mary Engelbreit card that says home is where one starts from. Floor plan. I like the blueprint. More furniture pieces. There's a little blue bag. I put something in it. Oh, this was from a kit from Yana's Crafting that had little fun and cheery, whimsical houses. So they're clouds. I don't need to keep them in this kit. But there's a little house and some advertisements for furniture. I love that. There's another one. It's a photograph. I think this was for a Needle Arts magazine on the cover. Or maybe not the cover, but inside. It's not stiff enough to be the cover. But look how beautiful that is. That would make a nice cover, but it would have to be a big book. I love the canisters. I like kitchen stuff. What fun things are in this pack. More pieces that I can make ephemera with. These are from catalogs. And then I cut up a children's dictionary and saved all the pieces that had to do with homes. So there's a room and a kitchen. These children are drawing homes with their family included in the picture. It's a Dick and Jane book, and these are the pages that came with my Wonderful House book. I don't think I'll use them in my journal because they're animal homes mostly. So I'm going to make something with them, but not in this journal. A family sitting at dinner. There's a little girl, Jane, at the dish cupboard. And there they are going to Grandma and Grandpa's house. And there's the drawing that they made. So some more of the images from a dictionary. Like even a knob, a doorknob, a gate. This is a vintage gift enclosure card with a little house. Eaves, door, cottage, dish, residence, gable, garret, and drapery. This is from a children's game, just a little game piece. And I had gotten last year a collection of these things that had to do with maintaining your home. And some of them I can use in these journals, I'm sure. This is a little punch card for winning a luxury bedspread. Looks like chenille. And then just these little brochures. So this is about insulation, some wall covering. Stop leaks with putties and roof coatings, asbestos siding. No, thank you. A tile there. So all of these have to do with maintaining or building a home. Some clocks there and a vacuum cleaner. I have some flashcards with pictures with household items. And I definitely do not want to try to use all of these in these 3 journals because, as I said, I want to make more. Another interior picture. And these 3 cards go together to make a mop. That's a fun one. And a copper tea and fondue set. So that's what I have to work with. Plus, I did print Mrs. Coggs flashcard kind of set that's got to do with house and home. I didn't cut them yet. I have those papers upstairs. And also I printed a digital set. I don't remember now what it's called, but I printed them 5x7. So they're just going to be little pages because I'd have to cut off too much to make it fit into this size. The up and down part, I'd have to cut off too much. So anyway, they're just 5x7 pages and I still have to cut them out. That's what I have to work with. I've been doing a lot of talking and no crafting. So we're gonna take my sweatshirt off because it's heating up. That's better. And I have these pages, these papers. I don't know how old they are, but they're not new. They're not old enough to be fragile. And I'm going to glue some of these items to this. And then I'll probably do some sewing around them and add some trims and stuff. So I'll probably what do I want to say? Edit some of this out and then pause. So this is from A Better Homes and Gardens magazine from January 1928. Yeah, I can stop the video and do some sewing and then resume and patch it all together. So this shows the grounds plan. There's a house here, the driveway, and the garage. And then there's gardens back here, and it even says vegetables, annuals, raspberries and currants, and grapes along the back. And the backyard has an apple tree and some plantings there, shrubberies or something. Some trees out front. What a nice little plan for a house. Look at that beautiful brick house. The lady, she's dressed like a 1920s lady, and it looks like she has a greyhound. No, it's not a greyhound. It's too furry for a greyhound. But she's walking her dog. I don't know if this will save any more space. Yeah, I don't think it helped. I can get 4 on there. Okay, they're all glued down. I decided to swap a couple of them out. I had this one, but it's not straight, so I thought if I glued it to a color of cardstock, then I could let the color show around it. So I substituted that one, and then I had this one here, and I thought I need to have some color around this too. So I'm just going to cut these out. Whoops. And this is a paper, not a cardstock, but it does give some substance to these thin magazine papers. I figure I can just have fun making ephemera with some of these house images and furniture images and stuff, and then save, use what I want to in these journals and save whatever I don't use. But I just want to make ephemera. So that's those, and I'm going to sew around them and probably add something to them, a bit of lace or fabric, a tab, something. So now with these other ones, I have the bedspread ones. And I got some colored cardstock out. And this one shows a scallop at the bottom, so I'll cut around that. I was thinking about cutting a border. That's what fell off my table. Like just cutting a design at the top of the page. And I chose this one because it doesn't have any holes in it, so it will be more sturdy. Angle I'm at isn't helping, and I messed that one up. So it's enough for this, and I'll just cut that part off. That's not the one I'm doing. I'm doing this one. Speaking of bedspreads, when my daughter and I were shopping, we went to Home Goods, and I got some nice Halloween decorations, or not Halloween, fall decorations there. And I bought a bedspread for my new bedroom. My room has light green walls, and so I bought a bedspread that it's white with a very pale green floral pattern. It's very pretty. And I want my room to be pink and green, so the walls are green, and there's green on the bedspread. There was a bedspread very much like the one I got, but that was pink floral instead of pale green, but we both liked the green one better for some reason. So I'll just add a couple of pink pillows or something. I have a pink bed rest that I use for reading. So there's that, and I'm sure I'll add some lace to that. That requires lace, right? So this one, I'm going to leave the words on, like the description of the bedspread. And I'll just leave it in this rectangular shape. I'm going to stand up to do this. I'll be able to see it better. And I got some blue cardstock out for these two. This has pink rosebuds, but it has blue here, so I chose blue. So this is what they look like on their pastel colored cardstock. And I did this one on a darker blue scrap that I had. I might do a little more gluing and then do some sewing, and then I'll come back. Okay, now to finish these little ephemera pieces up. These are the pieces that I glued to paper. So I sewed around them. This one I added a little bit of embroidered fabric. It was a vintage piece. I just cut a little snippet off. And I don't know if I'll do anything else to that. I might, I was going to say I might want to stamp a journaling spot on the back, but I don't think I can because now this is going to make it uneven and it wouldn't stamp well. Here's another with a little house in the woods. And this one. And then I glued these to cardstock. And then I didn't show these on the video, but I made pockets with these two. So let's do a little bit of embellishing on them. For this one, I thought I would add this little bit of fringe right up here. Is that what I was going to do? Might have been this one. Yeah, I think I was going to add fringe to this. But maybe I want to add a little color, so I could add this little colored fringe. Guess I better get my fabric scissors. These were from a flea market last year, I think. And I can add one of these embroidered flowers. I got this bag of flowers, both of these, from Amazon. Now I think I will add this fringe here to this one. We'll add some little flowers. This I had, it's a vintage piece. It's like an organza type of fabric that's folded. I don't know how this was made. I could never do this, but it's doubled and curved and pressed, and then the tatting was added in between those. I can't tell you how it was done. I would never be able to create that. I'm just going to glue it right there. But this came from the flea market this year. It's a little tricky. A little glue on there, so I won't cut that off yet. I'll wait for it to dry. Now the bedspreads. I think I'll just add some rickrack to these. I had this piece already cut. And I would like to use, oh, here I have them, my older vintage appliques. I'm thinking of the little rosebud ones. Maybe they're not in here. Like these, but I have pinks and blue. I think I have pinks, maybe not blue. I've had these for a long time. Yep, I think I'm going to use it. It's quite bulky here in the middle where everything is layered up, but this card can be removed while you write in the journal. And I have this blue one. I think that would look pretty right in the center. Here's some rosebud ones. They're not the ones I was looking for. Was that all of the... There should be one more bedspread. There it is. put this little butterfly on here. And I have a few more to do. This one maybe could have some fabric, or maybe this vintage trim. Oh, that's pretty. I like that blue butterfly on there. This one I need to add some color to. I'm gonna stitch that on, but that's what that will look like. And I'll just sew down that. This one's already done. I've got this velvet ribbon that's from Stampin' Up. I've had it for a long time. Doesn't look like I've used much. I always forget about my velvet ribbon. But now, in my new room, it's a little more accessible. I think I would like to add some sort of a sheer fabric behind that. I have this basket full of fun stuff. I don't know if I want, maybe if it's not hanging off so much, because I don't know what kind of a pocket it's going to go in. It might not be used in these journals because I think it's too wide, unless I put it in a pocket like that. which I might have to do, but I'm just going to glue this down. Okay. Let's look at them all. These two pockets I made the right width for a Golden Book journal. And this is a journaling card. It could be a pocket. Same with this. This could be a pocket or a tuck spot. Got 4 tags. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces today. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're excited to see the Golden Books when I start working on them. Right now I just want to work on Ephemera, but we will get going on those little Golden Books with underlying house and home theme. And I think it's going to be fun. I hope you agree. I'll see you in the next video. Have a creative day. Bye.